When Denny Hamlin announced he was missing NASCAR's historic first Cup race in Mexico City, the racing world stopped. But this wasn't about penalties, protests, or politics. This had everything to do with family, and it's about to change how we view NASCAR forever. June 12, 2025, Denny Hamlin posted a message that read, "We are happy to announce the birth of our son," Hamlin announced on social media. "Everyone is doing well. My main priority is to be here at home for Jordan and our family over the next few days, when she is able to go home, and we transition to life as a family of 5. Hamlin was skipping the Viva Mexico 250, NASCAR's first Cup Series race in Mexico City. The same Hamlin who hadn't missed a race since 2014, the same driver sitting third in points with 3 wins already under his belt. This wasn't just any race weekend. NASCAR was launching its most ambitious international venture in decades. Teams were dealing with travel nightmares, with 2 aircraft issues grounding multiple race teams in North Carolina on Thursday. The entire weekend was already a logistical powder keg. Yet here was one of NASCAR's biggest stars, making a choice that would have been unthinkable just years ago. Hamlin and fiancée Jordan Fish welcomed their 3rd child, a son born Wednesday, June 11th. The couple already shares daughters Taylor James, 12, and Molly Gold Hamlin, 7. Fish had been nearly 2 weeks past her predicted due date, putting Hamlin on baby watch for the last 12 days. The timing couldn't have been more dramatic. Hamlin had planned to get out of the car at Michigan the previous Sunday if Fish went into labor during the race. When the first stage passed with no word, he continued racing and won. That victory was his 3rd of the season and the 57th of his career, making him the all-time winningest driver at Joe Gibbs Racing. But Mexico City was different. The distance between his North Carolina home and Mexico City became Hamlin's primary concern. "Ultimately, I need to be there for her," Hamlin said during a June 10th interview on SiriusXM NASCAR.
Yeah, I mean, I said from the very beginning, if she hasn't had it, by the time I need to leave for Mexico, then I'm not going to go to Mexico. I think that that's the proper thing to do. But really just letting her call the shots. I think that's the best thing. And, when she, her body and her mind says that it's time, then that's what we'll do. And ultimately I need to be there for her, during, post, and all those things. So just going to make sure I spend the proper time with her, and obviously the racing will come second this week.
Travel to Mexico wasn't as simple as flying his private jet to the racetrack like every other weekend. The logistical challenges made the decision easier. "If the birth causes me to miss a race, it's one of 701 races that I missed, and it's just not that big of a deal," Hamlin had said earlier. This statement reveals something profound about modern NASCAR. A driver prioritizing family over a historic race weekend represents a cultural shift that would have been impossible in previous generations. Who steps in when a championship contender bows out? Ryan Truex, a name fans haven't seen in a Cup car since 2014. Truex, the younger brother of 2017 Cup Series champion Martin Truex Jr., serves as Joe Gibbs Racing's reserve driver. Truex's preparation for this moment tells a fascinating story. He spends several hours each week in a racing simulator, helping JGR with baseline setups for tracks. He's been on standby the last couple of weeks as Fish's due date approached. When it mattered most, Truex was ready. His Cup Series resume reads like an underdog story waiting to happen. Truex has 26 career Cup starts, with his last coming in 2014 when he competed in 23 races for BK Racing. His career best finish stands at 20th place. He made 11 Xfinity starts in 2024 and competed in the 2025 season opener at Daytona International Speedway. But Truex has shown flashes of brilliance in recent years. He's won 3 of his last 18 Xfinity starts since 2023. More importantly, he's been lauded for his behind-the-scenes work at JGR, including full-time simulator testing that helps the team refine chassis setups. Sunday's race at Autódromo Hermanos Rodríguez represents Truex's golden opportunity. He's stepping into the number 11 Yahoo Toyota Camry XSE, one of NASCAR's most competitive seats, at one of the sport's most historic moments. Here's where the story gets really interesting. NASCAR has completely transformed its approach to playoff waivers, and this situation proves it. JGR confirmed they will apply for a playoff waiver to keep Hamlin's playoff eligibility and points. Under NASCAR's updated policy, the birth of a child qualifies as an acceptable medical reason for missing a race. This means Hamlin retains all 18 playoff points he's earned during the regular season. Why does this matter? NASCAR implemented a stricter waiver policy in 2025. Previously, drivers who received waivers for non-medical reasons would lose all playoff points earned during the regular season. The new policy specifically lists the birth of a child as a valid exception. This policy change prevented a potential disaster. Before the season began, NASCAR's competition officials made it clear that the birth of a child would allow a driver to retain their points and eligibility despite missing a race. The timing of this policy becomes even more significant when you consider the ongoing legal battles. NASCAR made this decision knowing that both Hamlin and Tyler Reddick, two people involved in the NASCAR vs. 2311/Front Row Motorsports lawsuit, were both expecting babies in 2025. To understand why this moment matters, you need to know NASCAR's history with family emergencies. In 2014, Paul Menard nearly missed a race at Auto Club Speedway for the birth of his child. According to longtime spotter Joel Edmonds, Menard would not have been granted a playoff waiver had he missed the race. Edmonds posted this on X. NASCAR wouldn't even grant Paul Menard one to see the birth of his child, and his family was spending $50 million a year on the sport. Menard made it back for the race, finishing 21st in points that season, but the implications were clear. Missing a race for childbirth would have ended his playoff hopes. Compare that to Kyle Larson's situation in 2024. Larson missed the Coca-Cola 600 due to a rain delay at the Indianapolis 500. NASCAR gave no immediate answer about whether he would receive a waiver. He finally got one, but only after weeks of uncertainty. The contrast with Hamlin's situation couldn't be starker. He never had to wonder if he was throwing away a championship chance by missing this race. NASCAR's transparent waiver policy eliminated that stress completely. Hamlin's decision ends one of NASCAR's most impressive active streaks. He had made 406 consecutive Cup Series starts, last missing a race in 2014 at California Speedway because of an object in his eye that caused vision problems. That 2014 absence came due to a sinus infection that affected his vision before the event. Now, 11 years later, family priorities end the streak that few thought would ever be broken. The Iron Man mentality has long defined NASCAR culture. Drivers historically raced through injuries, illnesses, and personal emergencies. Missing races was seen as weakness or lack of commitment. Hamlin's decision represents the evolution of that mindset. The sport has grown to understand that some things transcend racing, and family is at the top of that list. What makes this decision even more remarkable is what Hamlin is missing. The Viva Mexico 250 represents NASCAR's first international points race since 1958. It's the Cup Series' first ever race at Autódromo Hermanos Rodríguez in Mexico City. This isn't just any weekend. NASCAR has invested heavily in expanding its international presence. The Mexico City race represents a significant step toward global growth. Having one of the sport's biggest stars missing from this historic moment carries substantial weight. But here's the tactical angle that makes Hamlin's decision even smarter. Mexico City is a road course, and Hamlin struggles on road courses in the next-gen era. He has only one top 10 road course finish since the next-gen car debuted, a second-place result at Watkins Glen International. His recent road course performance tells the story. In his last 5 road course races, Hamlin's best finish was 14th at the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval. He had 2 finishes outside the top 30. His overall Cup Series road racing record stands at 1 for 57. If there was any weekend for Hamlin to miss from a competitive standpoint, this was it.